I know recently you were on our Furuno 1 test boat, and so I wanted to kind of catch your reaction of what you thought of it, and what was like the most impressive part of it, and what do you like about the new TZtouchXL system?
So A, that boat was a total treat. That was a lot of fun. B, my favorite thing, I gotta say, the drift fishing feature was an eye opener for me. We hit the button, and we were fishing on a reef, which is an artificial reef in the Chesapeake. And I've done a lot of drift fishing in my time, and there's always a huge amount of guesswork. And it really just sort of takes the guesswork out of the equation. And the way I would approximate it, I guess, in my head is, normally, if I set up for a drift on a breezy day with a current going in one direction or the other, if I drifted right over what I was shooting for half the time, I'd be happy with myself. Yeah. It's really easy to get askew. And I would much rather let the big brain inside that unit make the calculations for me and tell me where to park the boat so that I drift right across it. That was really nifty. Now, I got to say, though, I had one small letdown on my day on that boat, because when I saw the boat at the initial boat show, there were so many screens on that boat. They had put 2 in the head compartment. And I was like, how cool is it? I can go into the head compartment in the console and see the fish finder. Like, I love that. But they broke all that down after the boat show. And I was like, dang it, I can't sit on the head and watch the fish finder.
They had that big 24 on the back seat too. So when you walked out,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I think the fish finder should stay in the head. I think that should always be there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. With respect to fish it and drift it, totally agree. It's a really cool feature, and I'll pat myself on the back for actually having that idea and getting our guys to code that into the system. And we just have, in fact, I just got the patent approved on it from the USPTO.
Yeah,
so
congratulations.
Pretty cool. And it's a time saver, a fuel saver, takes the guesswork out, and really makes you being able to drift over different areas or a spot that you want to cover really super easy. So it's a great feature. We've won awards for it and accolades for it as well. So it's really kind of cool.
So Lenny, what do you think of like the user interface on the system? Is it I mean, you've been around our stuff for quite a while, and you've kind of seen NavNet go through the generations. And one of the things that we hear a lot on forums and stuff is that Furuno is hard to use. What do you think of the user interface on that XL system, TZtouchXL?
I don't think it's hard to use at all. Actually, I find that really interesting because, historically speaking, at least from my perspective, you guys Furuno started it with NavNet. That was sort of the first one that gave you that glorious icon menu where you just chose what you wanted to go to, which everybody does now, right?
Right, yeah.
Everybody's kind of copied that. Everybody's gone down that path. I don't know. Did that predate the iPhone?
They're just, yeah, it predates it slightly, but then the iPhone came out. Yeah.
Apple might have ripped you off on that. I don't know. I'm not making any claims.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I remember.
Yeah, exactly. But, I have the same problem. People go, "Oh, Furuno's hard to use," and then I see the guy go, "Yeah, but," and he starts doing his swiping and everything. I go, "Hey, it's the same thing. It's the same thing." I go, "Come on, look." And once you show somebody, they go, "Oh, okay, I get it." Edge swipe out, edge swipe in, top down, bottom up. It's so easy now to be able to just jump on a TZ Touch 2, TZ Touch 3, TZ Touch XL, and just, it's the same system, the same. There's a couple more features in the newer product, in the XL product, but it's still the same principle. Anybody who's got that in their head or has used an iPhone or an Android phone, it's boom. It's just so simple, and it's really, it's kind of like, okay, this is how everything should work. And Jobs helped do that, and maybe arguably kind of took a little bit of stuff from some of the things that we were doing. Maybe, I don't know, but he wasn't much of a boater, from what I understand. But some of his guys were, and I worked on some of his guys' boats. So
was he at the Miami Boat Show in 1996?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
I would immediately want to ask anybody who's having difficulty with the system 2 questions. First off, did you just upgrade from a much smaller, simpler unit that didn't have so many features and functions? You know, have you just added radar, autopilot interface, you know, side scan? Have you just added all these different features, whereas you're used to using a very simplistic unit? In that case, there's going to be a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
And I don't care what unit you're using, there's going to be a learning curve.
Sure.
And then the second question I would ask is, what brands have you used in the past? Because I have seen, I'm sure you guys see this too, you must. People get brand accustomed.
Yes.
And they sort of learn the menu path of a particular brand. And then when they switch brands, it trips them up.
Mhm.
And it might take them a season or two to make the adjustment, you know, to the slight differences and details that each different type of system is going to entail. So I want to ask those questions and find out, you know, is that what's going on there?
Well, and especially, I mean, you use your phone every single day, and so you get accustomed to using your phone, but you're not on the boat every day. Most people aren't using the electronics. So if you're going from weekend to weekend or even month to month, you forget stuff. And so there is a little bit of a relearning each time you're on there.
There is. I have this problem sometimes. I'll fess up to it. I'll be sitting there trying to do something, and I'm like, oh, God, I know I did this a month ago. How did I do this? And fortunately, it's much easier to figure out these days than it was, you know, 15, 20 years ago, when in a lot of ways, marine electronics were, you know, a very different beast, and it could be really tough and complex. But I don't find it these days. It really is much easier, I think.
Much easier, and you know the whole edge swiping process. You know, I used to have people who were scared to touch the display or didn't want to mess with it. But now these days, I'm like, boom, hey, just touch it and just play with it. You just have to play with it and move some stuff around. And once you understand the basic edge swiping principle, you can find out just about anything you want to do on the machine pretty easily. Yeah, yeah.